Hey everybody, it's Krista Marie. So it's Reality with Krista Marie. I am not sure if you guys can see me okay because my StreamYard looks messed up. So actually I guess you can. I can see it. So I'm just gonna stop looking at my phone right now and talk to you guys. So this is Ultimate Girls Trip, and we are gonna do Whose Side Are You On because I feel bad that I know that the episode literally just dropped last night, and a lot of people probably haven't seen it. However, I did, and it's like insane. It's insanity, guys. Like, so I can't even believe that our main focus is going to be Drunkinda. Okay. I feel like every episode we are going to, all right, as I'm focused on I'm focused on watching myself. Okay. I feel like every episode that we are getting into has no focus other than what is going on with Dorinda and what is going on with Dorinda, guys. Like, because even in the episode, Vicky pointed out, is she really drunk at that time in the morning? Could she really be freaking out? Like, I don't think so, guys. So I guess what we'll do is Whose Side Are You On? Sorry, guys, this is like a last minute thing. I forgot to even put a thumbnail. But I forgot to even tell you guys, we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Twitter, also going to be on TikTok. Also, I did also go on Reddit, and I'm going to post on there. So I have not figured out yet how to add them as I stream live, but I'll figure that out later. But guys, if this is a replay crew, which is probably going to be a lot of you, are going to come back later and watch this, since I kind of came out really fit. Like the episode, like I said, just dropped, and last night, and a lot of people, since it's on Peacock, wait a little bit to watch. I don't know, guys. It's crazy. And like I said, I feel like our focus is going to be what is going on with Dorinda. Like, what, like, seriously, like, we have to talk about it. So, I will open up the fill-ins. If anybody does come on, I'll be able to see. I'm going to, see if I can do this. If anybody comes in, I will drop, and you guys want to call in, we will do that. I can open the call link. Or whatever was what I thought was gonna happen just didn't happen. Sorry, StreamYard is like really strange, guys. I'm making excuses. Like, I have to figure it out. But so okay, so we're gonna talk about it a little bit. If you guys want to call in, I will drop the call link. Just let me know in the comments. Let me pull them up and make sure I'm watching. I want to say hi to everybody. Like I said, Twitter. If you guys are replay crew, thank you for watching. Again, this is my second week of doing Whose Side Are You On? With me. I do usually have a co-host, or I do paddles. But I gotta start doing this by myself, guys. So thank you I saw a lot of the replays. I saw a lot of the views went up. I appreciate it. So I wish you guys would subscribe. That'd be great. It's free. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. What do you think of Ultimate Girls Trip? Do you think that, like, do you think this cast, do you think any of them belong back on TV? What do you think about each character? Because I'm going to go through what I think after I tell you whose side I'm on, because, like, it's bananas. And I got to say this at first, okay? When I first heard this cast, I had them pegged. I'm going to say I was wrong about every single one of them. I feel the opposite now. 5 episodes in, I feel the opposite of how I felt in the beginning, and I'll tell you why. I went in there thinking that Brandy was gonna get on my nerves. I was going in there with like toxicity feeling. I'm gonna lose my shit on this chick. Like, she's gonna get my nerves. I remember episode 1 calling her a meth head. Like, I'm like, she's crazy. Like, she's gonna get my nerves. I thought that Tamara, because Tamara is linked up with the other T. Oh God, what the hell? The other T that's in that pod. The one who jumps out of Kyle's purse all the time. Fetch, I think her name is. The one that's like jumps out of Kyle's purse and jumps in front of the camera all the time. Fetch. Yeah. So she's linked up with her. So I was like, I'm really going to stand it. I was like, Vicky's going to get my nerves. I'm not going to stand her. And I figured Phaedra, whatever, Eva, whatever. Am I missing? Oh, Jill, whatever. Like, I was just whatever. The opposite, because Brandy is the only one who's really like trying to take the mood down, keep it fun. She's recognizing that Dorinda is off of the hinges. Something's not right. The big, like they said, the elephant in the room. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, because like Vicky said, wait a minute, let's talk about what happened last night. So, they're all talking about like what's going on, right? But the elephant in the room is Drunkinda. And I can't even say Drunkinda because Drunkinda is not drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning, guys. So what is the problem? Like, what is the craziness for? I don't understand. So what I'm trying to do right now is pull up Facebook so I can see, because I see there's people on Twitter watching, I see there's people on Facebook watching. And because I did this so like last minute, I don't have everything pulled right up. So guys, I'm pulling up Facebook this way I can see. All right, so we start the episode. So this is episode 5, guys. Episode 5. Now let me just say this real quick. I'm going to do this weekly, so I'm sorry that if I'm spoiling it for anybody. I appreciate it. Yes, it was on last night. My sister-in-law just came on, Lauren. I don't know if you're on Facebook. All right, good. So I know you're watching. I don't have to pull it up. So I know Facebook's working. And you can hear me, right? You didn't watch it. Listen, we're not getting any further than Drunkinda. Something is wrong, right? So basically, we end the last episode with her yelling at Jill about Jill wanting to go in, and now since I figured out, I couldn't figure out last week what it was, that she wanted to sit on and she wanted to sit on the bed and watch Eva do her podcast, which I was like, okay, why do you care? Okay, now this is the thing. Dorinda's calling her thirsty. Jill, she's screaming at her, delusional, calling her thirsty. And I'm like, what? Like, okay, guys, it's a radio show. It's not live. So Jill's sitting on the bed. Jill's like, I wasn't trying to get a radio show out of it. Jill, nobody said you were. I never thought Jill was thirsty. I don't call anybody. I didn't. I honestly didn't think of Jill, guys. I felt like so she's lucky that she met her guy. Like I felt really bad when her husband died. Which again, drunken Dorinda. This is why I'm not on Drunkinda's side. Is talking about I supported you through Bobby, and she's bringing up like crazy. She's bringing up the death of Bobby, and like poor Jill is literally trying to not argue with Dorinda. She's like, I can't argue with a drunk person. I'm in her home. They have all now tried to not argue with Dorinda. They're scared. Like, so Jill calls her cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I say it all the time. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She is. That's my term. But like, this chick's cuckoo for Cocoa. I don't know what it is, guys. You're going to have to help me out here. I don't know. Is she, if I'm going to be speculating, okay, I have to speculate. Remember, guys, this is my opinion based on what we're saying. You're not drunk at that time in the morning. You don't get wasted from 8 o'clock in the morning. You're having your hair done, whatever's going on. And 10 minutes later, you're downstairs screaming like a fucking banshee. Oh, I cursed. Screaming like a banshee about eating in the room, didn't see the plaque, blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what Vicky's point was, lady. No, you're not drunk. I mean, if you are, then, it's all a problem. It's all going to be a problem, regardless. So either you're on medication, which is nothing wrong with it, but you should be drinking on it. Something's making you go cuckoo, Dorinda, because we have you yelling at Vicky, basically blaming her for COVID because she's an anti-vaxxer, which I'm not going to say whether I am or not, but she didn't give her friends COVID. Other people, like the government did. So you freaked out there. God damn, people are going after Brandy. Like I said, I thought Brandy was getting on my nerves. They all want Brandy so bad to say something stupid, but Brandy is the only one trying to keep the mood light. She's the only one saying, guys, we have to survive with this drunk, crazy lady that Bravo decided to put us ex-wives who are basically OGs almost. They send them to Dorinda's blue, crazy manor. Not Turks and Caicos, not Egypt, or wherever the next group. The next season 3, guys. Really? Okay, this is what I thought I'm going to sidetrack real quick because I find this hilarious that with that cast of characters for season 3, Fetch still can't manage to get her ass on an Ultimate Girls trip. That is sad. She has to basically hide in Kyle's purse. Okay, yes, I'm regressing. Fetch has to hide in Kyle's purse, jump out, and jump in front of the camera for camera time, but they can't even get it. So we end up with a cast. So this is the best cast we've had, except for the fact that Dorinda has lost her shit. Now, okay, so I got notes, okay? So we have Dorinda sitting in a hot air balloon. Now, I don't believe anybody who wants to go up a hot air balloon with this crazy woman, this drunk, crazy woman who basically screams in your face about everything. Not me, lady, not me. Dorinda sees them all talking, right? So basically, they're trying to talk because, Jill's like shooketh. She's shooketh, like Tamara shooketh. Like she basically like berated Jill, called her thirsty, made her feel like crap. Said, you came on my show, or I don't know, something about I don't know. It's basically, we can tell that Dorinda is just bitter, and I don't know why they want to just keep calling Jill thirsty, but man, leave her alone, because Dorinda went for her heart. It was really sick. Talking about her being there for her. Like, lady, you're not her friend, Dorinda. You don't like Jill. Actually, I don't think this. You don't like Jill. You're something going on with you, because you can't possibly be this angry at these people. Your bitterness, I guess, maybe from, I don't know, none of them are on the show, so I don't know what your problem is. You know, Jill, I was mistaking you for her friend, which is sad. I feel bad for Jill, because, like I said, I thought these people were going to get on my nerves, and I feel bad for the ones that I thought were going to get on my nerves, because Dorinda is destroying them. I'm sure she's not done. I feel like we're not going to get anything else. I was like listening to the podcast, and I'm like listening to Brandy talk about it. You know, it didn't come out yet. I'm like, she's just thirsty. She's talking crap on Dorinda. They're all talking crap on Dorinda because they're threatened by Dorinda. That's what I'm thinking. They're threatened by Dorinda. And that's why they're doing this. I'm like, wait till we watch. I'll just wait till we watch. And I had them so pegged wrong, because this is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in whoever said that, because it is Jill. Okay, so basically, Jill's trying to talk about this, and she wants to have the door shut because she's so afraid of Dorinda. Like I said last week, she's like popping out of the shadows, pumping out of the corners everywhere, like, talk about me, stop talking about me. Like, yo, crazy woman. Like, I would be like, Jill's like, can you guys shut the door? She's like trying to, like, remember what happened last night? And I was like, well, you know, Tamara, you made her cry. Jill looks like she's going to cry. I'm going to cry because Dorinda, you're nuts. And like, wow, crazy woman. Like, okay, I keep calling you crazy, but I don't know what else to say. Okay. Like, I don't know, unicorns popping out something, or I don't know what you're saying. I wrote down notes. I have a binder. Anyway, so she sees them talking. Like I said, they're all paranoid because, you know, Dorinda just pops out of like corners everywhere and just decides to like jump on people, like, and like yell at them and like be crazy. And it's okay. So, no, they don't. So barely any of them go up in the hot air balloon. Dorinda's up there, and she's talking about how you can see bluestone matter in the yard. And you're starting to see why this woman is probably losing it, because it's huge. She's by herself, except for Marco, or whoever the butler guy is. Michael, Marco. I feel like we have a different guy this week. I don't know if this is the guy who gave the cupcakes to them or gave them food in the rooms he fired. Is this a different guy? Maybe. I don't know. But it's like, where did the other guy go? I think Dorinda did something to him because he gave them food. I don't know what happened. But anyway, so we have that guy, and he's like confused because he's like, yeah, something about locking the door, like busting the door down. I think I just got confused with something listening. Anyway, so Eva, basically, this is what I don't like about Eva. I love Eva. Like, I thought Eva, am I saying it right? Like, she's one I could say, hey, get back on your show. You're running my nerves that bad. Why are you double? Maybe you see that there's something going on. Okay, I'll say, you see something going on with Dorinda, because clearly there is. And if I guess you like her, or you're just trying to get through, Eva, you have a heart. At this point, I would have packed my crap and gone. I would have been there the first time she yelled at somebody. I would have been out. Like, this is no vacation, Bravo. Sorry, wrong one. Yeah, but you have, I guess Eva's trying to make the best of it. I don't know, but I feel bad because Eva is probably running her chances of, you know, being on her show, because she's like on the wrong side of history, being on Dorinda's side. Because like I said, Dorinda doubles down on Watch What Happens Live with all her bad behavior. Sorry, guys, my eyes are starting to hurt. Then she gets really wasted on there. Andy says you're on pause, but it's been 2 years. You say you want to be back on the show, but there's a reason that you're not back on the show. You're on pause still for a reason. We now see why. So, okay, so then you have, okay, I'm going to get to Taylor in a minute, because I'm ready to, like, now, this is what I thought about Taylor. Nothing. Okay. What I think about Taylor, nothing. I thought about, okay, it was sad what happened to her. I'm glad that she's an advocate. I'm glad she found love again. Okay. Didn't think much about her. Didn't think she was thirsty. So she was on the show. And it's like, she says it. There's something about with her with Brandy. It's something that irks her soul. And it's not really Brandy. I mean, there's a lot of things about Brandy that irk people's soul. But the way that you banshees go after her, like, I wish I had time to pull up these, I guess you've seen it. The way that they scream at Brandy. They just, okay, so yeah. So I would not be going up a hot air balloon. I don't want to play games with you. I mean, Brandy tries to, I said they were at dinner. This is after hot air balloon. They're at dinner. I feel like I'm going out of order. But anyway, Jill's trying to just trying to get along with Dorinda. Okay, Drunkinda, trying to get along with Drunkinda. She's trying to explain it. Something's going on. She went after Jill, like really went after Jill. Tons with Jill. I guess like it's crazy. She goes after Jill, and she's still like Dorinda is still doubling down on the whole thing with the podcast with Eva. So that's why Eva, I don't understand what your deal is. But so then we have Vicky, right? So then we have this dinner that they're at, okay? And Vicky is trying her hardest to whoop it up at this red line and that Dorinda has been working at since she was 14 or worked her first job, which I forget who said it, probably Taylor or somebody. We all probably have worked since we were 14. I know I started my first job at 14 I had my cousin's A&M cold cuts. So yeah, the whole story about it. She goes, she reads the wine menu. She's trying to make it nice. At this point, Dorinda hasn't slurred her words yet. I don't know. She took a nap probably, maybe, in between after the hot air balloon. I feel like that production is taking parts out because maybe it's worse. So anyway, we think everything's peachy. We think everything's hunky-dory, right? No. So poor Vicky gets it. Poor Vicky. So Vicky tries to whoop it up. She just makes the mistake of, Vicky get on her nerves, and she makes the mistake of saying that Dorinda's house is older. Dorinda loses her shit about that. She basically says, they talk about, Vicky, what's wrong with you? Why are you being miserable? She's like, look, I'm trying to have a good time. They want her to have a good time. They're telling her stop being miserable. Then guess what they do? We have Tamara bring up Brooks. Bring up Steve, how he was cheating on her, how they didn't have sex. And then again, Tamara with I thought it would take you like I wish something about, she's like pushing that Brooks was a better guy than Steve because she would have been Steve's fourth wife. I mean, really at 60 years old, who cares? Like that does not, Brooks faked cancer and we're not sure she may or may not have allegedly gone along with it. So I wish Tamara on your freaking pod, you said you couldn't understand. You keep bringing this up. Why are you pushing Brooks on her? Why are you pushing her? Vicky has abandonment issues, huge ones. I don't think Steve is the worst guy or anything like that. I don't think Steve is a bad guy. I don't think being a fourth wife is a bad thing. He is married now, but like she's trying to have a good time, and then they start in on her about that. And I don't know where it goes left, but here comes Drunkinda. And then we have Taylor. Taylor goes on Brandy. Taylor goes on Brandy about why did you say there's something about things that they regret. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. Things they regret. And Taylor's like, I have something for you, Brandy, that you need to regret. And basically says it like that. Goes in and says that you said that your season, when my husband committed suicide, about the whole thing about Brandy saying that was her worst season. She didn't make the most money. She has apologized over and over and over for this comment. Sorry guys, I don't remember when she said it. Like I said, Brandy makes me mad, but not any longer. I feel bad for her that she had to like try to keep the peace because Taylor goes after her. And that's why I think Taylor is the one who's thirsty. So the thirsty ones, I believe, are Taylor, not Brandy, Dorinda, maybe Jill, and like maybe that's it because it's a shame because it's like I don't even want to say that like Jill's thirsty. Like who now? Like calling somebody thirsty is one thing. Like who wouldn't want to be back on your show, right? So because you want to be back on your show, like do I make fun of Fetch for getting therapy, for getting therapy for getting fired off of Beverly Hills? And I'm thinking to myself, you were only on the show for 3 years. You had such a boring part. So what the hell were you doing for the rest of your life? This is what put you in therapy, that you were so miserable. I'm sorry that the first 30 some years of your life were that miserable, Teddy. But I feel like that maybe Tamara's thirsty. I don't know. Thirsty. It's so like I said, I make fun of her for saying that. Like I get it, but like I don't think I would get a therapy for it. And if you're in the if you're we're not bloggers. I keep calling us bloggers, but if you hear us talking about you so much, Fetch, the fact that we call you Fetch, and I started that, like you just keep trying to make it happen. Like you can't call you're on podcasts calling all these ladies thirsty when you are a thirsty lady. Okay, so how it ends up on you, I don't know. Okay, back to Vicky's name. So they're going on Vicky's telling her that Steve was cheating on you, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Norma. I know. And I'm calling her Drunkinda. Norma, help me out. Now, this is my friend Norma. She's an actress in Hollywood. So I want you guys to go to follow her. And forgive me, Norma, but the IMBOD something. If you can, post it in your chat so they can go do that for you, and I can do that. I was in New York with Norma. We love Norma. Okay, we're calling her Drunkinda. Norma, what do you think is going on? If you want to let me know, I will drop the call link or let me know in the chat if you can. Is she on pills? Is she having a mental break? Is she drinking on stimulant medication like maybe Xanax, because she gets from having her hair done at 8 to really, really incoherent, making no sense. There it is, Norma Maldonado. Norma was on the Fosters. She was the okay. Norma was on the Fosters. So you guys know that. So I'm gonna drop the call link in about 2 seconds. So I said I am never team Drunkinda, and I am shocked at her behavior. And I need your input, Norma, because what do we think is going on with her? So let me invite you in. Sorry, guys, I'm not. Oh crap! I can do it this way. I do it this way, guys. Yeah, like what is going on with this lady? I'm shocked. Yeah. Sorry, copy. The way she has been screaming at everybody, it's insane. I don't understand why. Okay, here we go. Did it come up? There, it should come up. Okay, and then hopefully it won't have an issue. What is this? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I got sidetracked for a second. So we're talking about Dorinda, and what she did to Jill was so wrong. The way she just berated her and said that she was thirsty. It's really sad. And Andy clearly has no, he doesn't care. If he really cared, he would have put a stop to them production even having to go this far. Why are you letting this go on? And if this is the focal point, and this is what you need for a storyline, that this poor woman, I feel bad also that you guys have Sonia on there so much, because I feel like that's not good for her mental health. So, Andy, if you love Dorinda and you're her friend, stop telling her that she's on pause. Explain to her. She clearly said that she did not. That's another thing. She said to Andy when she went on pause, hey, look, if it's not going to change let me get Norma in. Device is not, they want me to connect them. Okay. Norma, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Hi.
Okay. You guys, can you, oh, okay. I have a little small screen for some reason, but everything looks okay to you. Everything sounds normal, right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think is going on with Dorinda?
Okay. First of all, she has to be the hungriest housewife of all. I don't care what people say about Brandy. I don't care what people say about Jill. Jill is the OG. She is an OG. So it's not a crime that she wants to go back. It's not a crime for anybody to want to go back on a fun, very powerful, and very successful franchise.
Yep.
That being said, Dorinda suffers from, I feel, very, very grave low self-esteem. So she constantly brings up Richard because Richard was successful. Richard was very well known in the circles in London, and she was able to enjoy that. So she lost that when he died. And I think she lost a part of herself because I think she equates herself with fame. She talked about it in this episode. She talks about the fame. And at one point she even admits she's making it nice. What can she do? She's doing all these things to show to Bravo what a great person she is. But it's all about her. If how she attacked Vicky for not feeling well when she first got there.
Yeah.
The woman just broke up with her boyfriend of I don't know how many years, was cheated on and was mistreated, and she gets very personal with people well, why were you with him, and how about the sex, and it's none of her effing business.
I know. It's I would have left the first night. Actually, maybe the second night. The first night when she yelled at Vicky about blaming her for her friends dying of COVID, I would have, okay, maybe she had a bad night, but then the next morning when she made Tamara cry, I would have been out of there. I feel like you're right. If Andy cared about her, so she's doubling down on Watch What Happens Live. Andy said, "You're on pause yet." Dorinda said, "I want to come back." Well, obviously we know why she's not coming back. She's doing something. Andy must not care, because the fact that this is our focal point of this season is what other storyline do we have besides the fact that Dorinda is viciously going after everybody like she did to Tinsley? Like,
yeah, exactly. Just like she went after Tinsley. That's exactly right. And that's what she does. And then she went after Jill for wanting to. It was none of her business. That's between Jill and Eva. And if Eva didn't want it, she said no and leave it alone. Okay, so maybe, you know why she doesn't like Jill? Do you know why she, goes after the quote unquote thirsty women? Because it's a reflection of who she is. And that shames her. Because when people bother you, sometimes it's that part of their personality that brings up the stuff about you don't like. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
I know, I watched it. I just tried to watch it again, and I was like trying to figure out what is triggering her every time. And she feels threatened a little bit. And it's like, none of them, they have all either lost the show or been fired or paused. Nobody in that, like, so, it's not like she was in the run, her and Jill were in competition. So, like, when she was going after Tinsley, I was like, okay, she just doesn't like Tinsley. Okay, maybe, she needs some pause. But now it's like you said, like, she's going after Vicky like that. She went after Vicky again at the table when Vicky was trying to whoop it up and make it nice.
Yeah.
And after, like, first of all, I'm not going up in a hot air balloon with some crazy lady like her. After you yelled at everybody, I'm not going to go up in a hot air balloon with you. I'm sorry. She wants them to make their beds. It's like, I feel like and then we have a different butler or something. I don't know what happened to that guy, the guy that fed them the food. And it's like, now we have this show that is our focal point is what the heck is wrong with Dorinda? Because it was 8:00 in the morning, and the last episode, she was okay. 10 minutes later is when she started screaming at Tamara and about not seeing the plaque. And it's like, what happened? You're incoherent. You're not making sense. They're looking at you like you're crazy. And no matter what anybody says, they don't win. They can't win with her.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you can't, there's no apology. There's no excuse. There's nothing you can give her that satisfies her. And that's the thing about Dorinda. She's so incredibly rigid, and she wants it her way or no way. So if you're not having the best time of your life at one of her planned events, then there's something wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with it. She takes it very personal, like it's an attack and an affront on her. It's not. People have different tastes. I love that when Tamara had the confessional, she was saying, this is old. This is all very, very old.
Right. So now, do you think, okay, now I was going in this one, Taylor, like, I always feel like, okay, what could Taylor possibly do to make us mad? I don't really think much about Taylor. I didn't really think about her. I thought, okay, what was sad happened to her was sad. I feel like when Tamara was saying that too, the way that she is going after Brandy, it's like, whoa, lady, now what are you talking about? Now this is about the whole thing with the surrogacy with
Adrian Malou.
Adrian. And everybody's like, this is so old, they're friends. It's like, okay, now I feel like, Taylor, you're thirsty. Like, what is happening?
Oh yeah. She has harbored anger. I think what happens with Taylor is that Taylor is not a very combative she has latent anger.
Yeah.
And so to see somebody as free and fluid as Brandy, it's off-putting, because in her mind, she's a good girl and she follows the rules. And here's Brandy. She can say what she wants. She can be as rude as she wants, and she gets a pass.
And like Brandy, and I swear, all Brandy's trying to do is get through this week. She's trying to make it, she was trying to have fun with Tamara. Like I said, I went into this complete opposite feeling of, I thought I was going to hate, Brandy's going to go to my nerves. Vicky's going to go to my nerves. Tamara's going to my nerves. And I didn't think about the rest of them that much. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like I said, why, if this is what Bravo has our focal point is, this is all that's going on, is the fact that this crazy drunk lady or whatever she's happening is screaming at all these grown women. They want to leave. I'm sure they don't want to be there anymore. Like, it's either like we have like really rock bottom, where Andy is trying to make a fool out of all of them. Because I feel like, even with Phaedra, I was all against Phaedra coming back, but at this point, Phaedra's given me life with her confessionals. She's the one also, and either are trying to really kind of double down, not double down, but doubling down kind of for Dorinda. But I feel like when she brought up that comment, did you watch it, the episode?
Yeah.
Oh God, when she said, about your daughter, about, your husband, they were talking about Taylor. So I have a hard time saying her husband passed away.
Yeah.
And then says, what if it was your daughter? And everybody's like, I was like, oh my God, how is like, now
there's no equivalence. None.
It's like, now, what do you do in production? What do you do in Andy? Because you're either, this woman needs help. So who's around her on a daily basis? Because clearly it's like, it's almost like she almost has dementia almost sometimes. Like, and we know that's not true because she's coherent and she's okay for like the first 10 minutes. And then no matter where we're at, what we're doing, hair done, hot air balloon, aerobics, in the middle of the kitchen, dinner, she's coherent for the first 10 minutes. And then after that, it's like attack, ambush, you're thirsty, and then she's not making sense. Then she goes and watch what happens live and doubles down on it. And then she's okay for the first 10 minutes. And then she gets all incoherent. I'm like, Andy, what are you doing? And I know Andy is not the end all be all here, but this woman clearly shouldn't be on TV. And this is not healthy for her because she wants to be back on TV. And it's making her, actually, we don't even know.
She's a sloppy drunk, first of all. And, again, it's like, she has to attack. And when she attacks, she goes so below the belt. What Brandy said about Taylor's husband taking his life was so not cool.
Right.
I don't condone it. There's no justification. But Taylor went after her over stuff that happened years ago. She's rehashing old wounds. Brandy, we know, is not perfect.
Yeah.
But Dorinda tries to come across as a woman with class. I mean, I think Vicky said it. The book shouldn't be called "I Make It Nice." I make it not nice.
Make it cry.
And she went after Vicky too. Right now, I don't remember what it was that she went after Vicky for, but she said something that was really below the belt to somebody else too.
It was a lot. I mean, honestly, everything that they say, they can't win. She was calling last week. She was saying that the OC girls, basically, I don't know how you guys do it at your place. And it's why are you so like?
See, that's unnecessary. Basically, what she was saying is like, you guys may be pigs in your house, but not in mine. And you know what? It's just. That is not a fun trip. I would not find it fun. I think contractually you're there. But to throw it also in Vicky's face, like, well, then why did you sign up? Exactly. And why did you do this? It's uncalled for. But she has to go below the belt. She's done it to Luann. That's when she goes, at least I didn't get arrested for drinking. But I don't find anything redeeming about her. I think her hair is pretty. She's got she can be friendly and fun, but Andy gives her a radio show. She's got a radio show on Sirius.
He does?
Yes. She's one of the darlings. This is my biggest problem happening with Bravo. Yeah. Is that they really love, and I've said this before, and people said, well, that's part of the fun, but they really do plug a lot of drinking. And, I'm not going to lie to you. When I'm sitting there watching these things, I go, oh, maybe I'd like a cocktail. We just came through a very tumultuous time in the world where there was a shutdown and people were isolated and people were lonely. And a lot of people turned to television for entertainment, for an escape. And yet, pick any franchise of the Housewives. Who has the problem? The one that drinks. I mean, right now with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, here we see Erica, and she's doing very important things. And her excuse, she's drunk. And when this one gets drunk, when that one gets drunk, we've seen Ramona drunk. We've seen, I mean, it's not a good look. These are women that are of a certain age. It's time
Yeah.
to act with some elegance and class. But
And
that's
yeah,
boring. People won't watch. They want to see the controversy. But it's gotten so bad that it's evil and mean and toxic. And I mean, I just got
yes.
off Campire's, uh, live feed. A lot of people were affected emotionally, including myself, with some of the stuff that we're seeing on Bravo.
Yes. I keep saying I was going to bring it up, but I was like, should I even say this, or am I being too sensitive? Like, it is almost it's like you said, it is almost toxic for them to be there, and for us to watch her and some of the things that are being said, the way Erica's acting. I mean, and then we're spending weeks talking about it, and it's like, again, Bravo's making this our focus, this
Yeah.
crap, this crazy crap. When I thought really that the Teresa stuff was so bad at one point, I was like, this is so horrible. And like, I feel like the 2 years after that, I feel like we are in the rock bottom. And if I don't want to say all television, because look, do you notice that TLC, they literally take care of the problem before the problem even gets to be a bigger problem. The second they hear somebody's arrested, they're fired. They take
Wow.
care of it like that. So why is it that Bravo has such a problem with certain ones, and then you know what I mean? They're hypocritical firings. They either don't care, but the Bravo.
No, they're profiting from it, and the editing is uh, very interesting because they make it to get the viewers upset. And I think where it got really bad is there have been lines that have been crossed. For example, when Diana came after Philly Diva for a, an
Yeah,
innocent, silly poke, and if it was that, just ignore it. But now when you see these women engage with the viewers and
yeah.
call them names like Lisa Renna did,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
we're all
Kyle,
stupid.
yeah, and Kyle posting apologies to the viewers, it's almost as if, they're breaking the fourth wall, but they're also engaging people that this is for entertainment. I don't really need to talk to you. I can share my opinion, but it's getting really, really bad. And I was going to say something else, but the Dorinda, something about Dorinda, it'll come back to me.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I am at the like. I feel this is people are like, you're so. Why do you care so much? You get so so emotional about it. But we have been so invested in a lot of these characters, these casts for so long, and now the way that Erica has treated us like we're idiots for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Jen Shaw treats us like we're an idiot. They think we're stupid, and now like Renee called us. I don't know everything. The way that and it's snake-like behavior that you act like that, and then you wait until you see our reactions, and then you come out with some stupid apology like we're idiots. And really, we're the ones who matter, because we're the ones who say off with your head. And you know that the Bravo Court of Law, if we really, I know exactly, Gab, if we really want you, like you're really going to treat us like idiots, you will make sure that you're gone. And it's like, Kyle's making us look stupid, or she thinks we're dumb. There's no excuse. The way that you put your hands on Sutton was so disgusting. It's
Mhm.
like, no wonder you're on the wrong. No wonder. It's literally, look who she aligns herself with. Think about it now. You're aligning yourself with a alleged thief. And the way that this woman has acted, the way she acts, the way that they have bullied Sutton, it's so sick. And it's like, Kyle, we see why your sister, I hate to say, why your sister probably does not want anything to do with you half the time. I used to think that was really sad, because I thought Kyle is just, maybe she's harmless. She's spineless, but maybe she's harmless. I think she's harmful at this point. I think Dorinda it's harmful for her to be, she is doing almost everything but attacking them physically. She's screaming in their faces. She's spitting. They're scared. They're crying. I mean, they're probably, like you said, I forgot that they're getting paid. Brandy, they said to Brandy, why'd you stay? She's like, because I got a paycheck. At least she's being honest. I thought, hey, A2, I thought, and when they were coming out talking crap on Dorinda, I was like, oh, they're so thirsty. Brandy, you're so thirsty. You're just talking about her. You're just trying to, there's no way it was that bad. And I'm like, holy crap. They were right. It's that bad. And
Yeah, and
that's the point.
I remember what I was going to say, and that is, it's no accident that come on. When do we remember in the history of Bravo that they release a trailer like the day before? Uh,
Yeah.
from this last episode, from last night's episode. Why? Because they weren't getting grief with the stupidity that Rena
I
put out
mean,
there and the stupidity that's been going on. So they released that. Why? To get viewers. The whole thing with Philly Diva and stuff, they're like, oh shoot, they're getting viewers to check in because they give us this tantalizing, trailer like, ooh, this is what's going to happen. And they are in control of the narrative. They are in control of the editing. That what happened with Oliver and what happened with Jax
yeah,
could easily been edited out and no one
yes,
would be the wiser, but they do it to provoke and get people upset.
yeah. It's either that, or I feel like they are. It's either that, or they're giving these women this rope to just completely hang themselves with. But it's dangerous and toxic. Just for
Yeah.
us to watch. And like, I agree. Like, you getting the viewership and all that. Bravo, you have Peacock. You don't need the money. These women are literally hanging themselves at this point. But it's like nobody wants. And then Rinna, like you said, Rinna coming in and her doubling down, or Kyle doubling down on what she's basically lying to us. Like again, like we're stupid.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
no apologies at all.
when
She does
there's
none.
well, when they're sitting at the table, okay, first of all, I love me some Sutton, but she should have gotten a big plastic uh, tarp or something to walk over.
It was
They
so
are doing
scary.
repairs in her house. She could have had some tarp somewhere where people can walk, not get in the mud.
Yeah.
But Rena going over to Diana's house and like, ooh, what happened? And her just relishing in Diana just chopping up Sutton.
It was
Wasn't
so.
Lisa wearing the crown just a few seasons ago? Wasn't she just, oh, she's so rich, talking about Sutton? And then at the table, when Garcelle says she was rude for not, RSVPing or saying that she couldn't go, she changes she diverts, she deflects and goes in on Sutton, like, didn't you call her motherfucker and didn't you call her this and that?
Yeah.
You're passive aggressive. That's not passive aggressive. That's very aggressive. What's passive aggressive is how, Lisa is using her mother's death and grieving as an excuse to go
Yes.
after people. No, you went after people because that's what you enjoy.
You are a flawed human who literally will never change because you cannot change. We don't acknowledge. And it's like really half of these women, we knew them before they got on the show. It's like, I didn't really, like I said, I really didn't think much of them. Didn't really think too much. And it's like, wow, I really cannot believe Lisa Rinna is just, no wonder it took you this long and and you've basically hung yourself. No wonder you have to need, you need your husband's last name constantly. Like, it's all makes sense to me now. Because you're just, I mean, she throws every single one of her friends under the bus to the point now where it's like so dangerous to be on the wrong side of history here with Erica. We have Dorinda who has lost her mind. Erica clearly has lost her mind, and they're allowed like it's. And I would say, like, I remember at one point Jason said on a thing, something's gonna happen, something's coming up on Below Deck. You're going to see it. You guys are going to be really mad. I can't really tell you what it is. And then I was thinking, if Bravo knows that this is going to happen, why are they letting it through?
Exactly.
I'm like, and then whatever it was didn't ever make it anyway. But my point is, you're letting this horrible behavior slip right through, and it's like you're either letting them hang themselves, which just fire them if you want them gone that bad, but you think that the trashy part of us is going to keep watching, and guess what? We are. But I mean, I don't think I can watch any more of what I was watching Beverly Hills for 2 minutes, and I was like, holy crap. I'd already seen this scene so many times with Kyle putting her hands on Sutton. But just to watch it again, I was like, whoa. And then I put on episode 5 of this. And it's like, how bad could it really be? Episode 5, I mean, maybe we're moving on from Dorinda. I'm like, and then Norma, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even wait till tomorrow because I watched it twice and I was like, okay, if we're not talking about this now, we need to. Because there's so much more, there's problematic behavior going on everywhere. And I don't know what Andy's doing. I looked at Twitter all day. He doesn't say anything.
No, he stays very, when he addressed Garcelle regarding the the Philly Diva comment. That's all that was said. Bravo said nothing else. But you know what I find interesting?
How he doesn't say her name. He wouldn't even mention her. He wouldn't mention her actual name.
Yeah, no, of course not. Like he didn't
Yeah.
do for Adam when Adam had. But
He's a dick.
if we go back to several seasons ago when Kim was on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Lisa Rennick, to me, in my impression as I recall it, made it her mission to bring up Kim's drinking problem. She even alluded to the fact that she could kill herself, that if she
Yeah.
doesn't take care of herself, she might die. She said that.
Yep.
Where is that concern for Erica?
You're absolutely right. You're right. It's like this own it part of her. She is, and it's just, it proves everybody's point with her. Where my whole point is that, like, she's thirsty, and it's like, it's disgusting. Ever since she threw Denise under the bus, I'm like, all right, that was horrible. And then, I'm watching Kyle just literally, everybody's like, oh, Kyle, she's harmless. Kyle's just there. And it's like, no, now Kyle's actually physically assaulting people. After the other one said she's going to headbutt her. Or did you want me to headbutt you?
Well, Philly Diva actually posted on her Instagram page an early video of Kyle where she was grabbing Brandy. When Brandy became close with Kim, and and Kyle was going after Kim, and Brandy became a human shield, and she grabbed Brandy's arm, and afterwards Brandy goes, look at, she bruised my arm.
And remember the scene in the when you stole my goddamn house? They had to actually push her back in that limo for almost going after Kim when her and Kim were fighting that day.
Yeah.
Or that night. So it's like, and then Mauricio. What are your thoughts on this asshole? I'm sorry. What are your thoughts on what he said? Because I don't know if he was kidding because he doesn't like Erica and he's glad that goes caught on camera. That's what I'm hoping this man meant. Or do you really think he meant, I'm glad? What do you think?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I honestly think that Erica's response to Jax coming to get the flowers, we got to watch her during the whole episode. Yeah. She's very, very hot. She's like trying to retain that sex kitten image that she has had in the past, and she's gained weight. I'm nothing against gaining weight, God knows. But she's gained weight. She's got all these legal problems. She's really in a very dark place. So she needs to make herself feel good. So she's hitting on Oliver. They take him away. In comes in this very handsome young man, and she thinks he's 16 because we find that out later. So I think her thing, like, get the F out, was not get the F out like you're bothering me, but like, oh, this is temptation. Get the F out.
Yeah.
You're a minor. I think that's where it was going, because she does say, if you stay, you're going to get in trouble.
What?
She says that. So I think it's creepy. So I think if Mauricio heard it that way, like, oh, she was going to hit on him, then maybe Mauricio is saying, oh, well, good for her that she's, exerting her sexuality.
Yeah.
But no matter how you cut it, it's like somebody else had said, if that was PK hitting on one of
Mauricio's daughters.
Yes, Mauricio's daughters, it would not have translated.
No. And it's like, I'm like looking at Mauricio, and then I'm watching him and Kyle together, and I was like, I keep saying this again, like, now that whole episode way back when with the psychic, and I was like, no way, they're so much in love. That lady's just, this was good by
Allison Dubois.
I'm like, holy crap, I'm really starting to see that maybe Mauricio, maybe he's just tired of the Hilton show, and he smokes all that, like I said, he smokes so much of that pot because the way they were interacting in the kitchen, she's like, you think he could go? When's it, tomorrow? And then something else this time, and it's like, why are they bantering now? Like, when did that ever happen? Like,
they're
why
trying to, it's I don't know.
Oh, hey, we banter. We're in love. See?
Now you know who Allison Dubois is, don't you?
Yeah, she's actually really a psychic. Like, she's real in tune with that whole thing, right?
Yeah, she had a TV show made after her called Medium,
right.
and I worked with one of the producers on it, and so I got to meet Allison Dubois, and we became friends on Facebook, and she's a trip. But I don't know how much of that she was predicting as much as she was enjoying getting under Kyle's skin because of stuff that she had done to Camille. And so she was trying, she was really intense. She's
Or
smoking.
she knew, or she just knows
Oh,
because she lives there.
yeah.
And
I mean, tongues do talk, and people,
but
Beverly
you
Hills
don't
is a
have,
small community.
but you don't have Brenna going, own it, Kyle, own it. Like, why are you not making her own those rumors about her life with her husband? But you make Denise, you're basically making Denise, come out of a, basically talk about her sexual, whatever her sexual life is, whatever, when she doesn't have to. It's not, but why are you not doing the same for your bestie, Kyle? And like, I love how Teddy must hide in Kyle's purse because she jumps out of her purse, surprised. And it's like, where did Teddy come from? Because she just stops in front of the camera, basically knocking everybody over. Like, you can't even get this girl. She can't even get on Ultimate Girls Trip 3. And she can't get out of Kyle's purse. And it's so, I laugh at it because it's like, at this point, I'll take fetch back over these women, over the rest of them.
I don't get that friendship. But going back to that thing that you were talking about with Denise,
yeah,
let's not also forget, and I've mentioned this on social media and other places, let's not forget that Erica, when she was saying, please, I mean, this is the double standard with these women. She's like, please don't talk about sex. Don't talk about threesomes in front of my kids at my home during my barbecue. And they go, well, then they shouldn't be there or something like that. Or you've done movies where you had a three-way or what.
right.
And it's like, that's not the point. The point is they are younger. This is not how I discuss this with my kids.
And you're my friend. Like, they don't want to
exactly. Just respect my wishes in my home. And then Erica, in one of her confessionals, goes, well, why can't we talk about it? I'm sure her daughters know what it is because I'm sure they've had three ways. And these girls were like 14, 15.
Uh-huh.
So there's such a gross disregard. But, Amelia and the other one, I forgot.
We call her not Amelia. We have Delia, or we call her Amelia or not Amelia, because I can never remember her name. So we'll call her not Amelia.
The daughters, the Hamlin girls.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody talked about them, and these girls give you plenty to talk about because they've gone, I mean, you got to wonder when these girls who apparently are raised by two very successful parents, why they need to, suffer.
Basically look at Rena's kid. Basically, she's like, I need therapy for Christmas. And do you remember when Sammy was on? So when he on 2.5 Men, in the very beginning of their relationship, there's an episode where she was a baby, and she was on the episode with Charlie Sheen and Denise, and it's like, wow, like they've been in each other's life that long, and it's like, thank God they're not on drugs. Like, thank God their kids are not on drugs. Basically, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if OnlyFans is the worst, you can, I think they just need to leave that alone. But like Brenna clearly doesn't. There's like basically a billboard where you live in Hollywood. There's like a billboard, right, where they said it looks like Brenna and her friend with like for Brenna Lip Beauty, and it's a real sexual pose. But if you look closer, it's like her and her daughter. And I'm like,
I haven't seen that.
It's so cringe. Somebody was talking about it. I was like, that is. I've seen the post of it, and I'm like, it's very disgusting. It's very disturbing, and it's like very toxic, and like there's so much crap going on that I was literally going to call this whose side, like my side, your side, and like production side, because I want to almost believe that production does some of this.
Oh, of course. And that just reminded me, a while back there was a photograph when Amelia or whatever her name is, was one, or Delia or Dahlia, one of them was modeling, and they were modeling lingerie. And there is a photo, I think it's the youngest one who dated Scott.
Not Amelia.
Not Amelia. She was wearing these white lace underwear with white lace bra. The girl was under 18 at the time.
Uh-huh.
And nothing was left to the imagination. She's sitting, leaning back with her legs spread open. And that's what Lisa just loves to post.
No.
And it's like,
yeah, sorry.
No. It's just, I mean, maybe I'm too prudish.
No,
there's nothing wrong with the female body, but when we are promoting I mean, there are predators all over it. I mean, I would be so
Yeah.
overprotective of my daughters if I had daughters. I don't. But
Especially Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen's daughter, because you know that there's weirdos out there that have followed Denise her whole life,
yeah,
and then weirdos that are like obsessed with them, and like I almost applaud Denise for joining it with her, so at least she knows what's going on. At
yeah,
least
she
if she's on
controls it. Yeah.
the fence with her, she knows what she's doing. So like I applaud her for that. Like, and I say like a lot of our housewives, their kids are pretty well rounded if you think about it. I mean, they're all pretty well rounded. So it's odd to me that they. I mean, I guess they can't really stop your mom's behavior, but it's like you wonder who are the closest other people around. If Bravo, when the cameras are down, reality still exists. So where are the people that have to deal with the aftermath of all the drinking that the show does and all the crap that happens? Like, are they not, putting because clearly some of these women need therapy and should not have, and it shouldn't even be back on the show. I think Sonia Rita, it's very toxic for her. So
Yeah.
I don't think she should be back on the show. A lot of them with Dorinda clearly can't even go 4 or 5 hours awake without being delusional, disturbed, angry. Basically, what she's done to Tinsley. So we now know Tinsley wasn't you. She didn't hate you. Something about her because she's gone after every single one. And like you said, she based her value on, I guess, Richard. I mean, you know what I mean? I get it. Who wouldn't want to be on a show, or who wouldn't want to have, all that status, and you're in New York and they have, that's what they were all about. And then they lose it, but then they get a show like this and they have all that back. And then you know what happens in television? You have a lot of toxicity in the end, and then you're getting neglected, or you're getting also neglected again. So it's just all over again. It's like PTSD almost. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
why wouldn't they losing it?
Brandy said it. I mean, Brandy is the most honest about it when they were sitting
Right.
at the thing, and she was saying, "Listen, you're on a show, on a reality show, to spill out all your stuff." And she had to go and talk about Eddie
Yeah.
cheating on her and those demons, and fighting for
Andy
her kids.
putting the chick on a show.
Yeah, and putting
Right.
on Shayna. Yeah, I mean that was a low blow. But she. The thing is this: these people are conflating fame with value. You don't have to be famous to be valuable,
We're
and they
rich.
think, yeah, or rich. And a lot of these people are not as rich as they come across, and they are, a lot of them are corrupt. I'm not going to get into that, but still, there's a lot of corruption. And I'm shocked at how Bravo doesn't vet some of these people, and then we find out there's this problem, that problem, the other problem. But these people are really so desirous to be seen. And that, going back to Dorinda, for me, she is the most. She's like, look at what I do. I do nice. Isn't my house the best? Isn't this the best? This is where I used to work. Oh, I was here. And then when they said there's no more blue cheese dressing, she nearly died.
I was like,
She was insulted, like they did that to her on
I was
purpose.
like, what, lady?
But she has to have, everybody has to, bow to her, and they have to apologize the way she wants to. But she gives no grace to anyone, and that's what's missing in all of this.
Yeah.
Nobody has grace for each other.
No, you're right. It's like so hypocritical, and then the doubling down. It's like, again, you think we're stupid. Okay, first of all, Diana, you know what you meant. We know what you meant. So your apology was even more bullshit. So just stop with, we know what you meant. We now see what kind of person you are. So whatever. Then we also see who aligns with you, Kyle. You align with Erica. So I mean, these people are literally just having the rope. They're hanging themselves. You're on the wrong side of history with Erica. I guarantee all of it. Like, Kyle. So like it's bullying, and they, like, I feel like the rope has basically gave them, it's so long now that they've basically, I hope, hung themselves, because like we're on episode 5 halfway through. What else, what are we missing? Is there anything that you can remember that we heard that happened? Because all I see that's happening is that Dorinda's going crazy. She's mean, she's bullying, and she's making everybody cry. She's not making it nice. She's making it mean. She's making everybody cry. We have Erica. I don't want to see your legs spread, lady. I don't want to see Kyle's boobs. I mean, she looks amazing, but I don't want to. I don't want to see your pat the puss. I can't even. You know, you've been handling something, and then she's pat her. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, I don't understand why Kyle is saddling her horse up to Diana. Just because this person has money, and she's crude. I mean, Diana, and it's
Yeah.
starting to get to me because my husband's from the same region that she's from, and for her to
Well,
say, "We do it like this in Bosnia. We butt heads like in Bosnia. We come like this in Bosnia." Yeah, that's gangster mentality. Not everybody is like that, you know.
exactly. Your representation, lady, is crazy. You're the clumsy one with the clumsy words. And think about it. She said she did what she did with our friend with Kristen Philly Diva, but then she's basically also not knowing that this obviously you can't predict what's going to happen. But then the way she's acting, like, okay, you got it. If Bravo doesn't get rid of her after this, then we got we thought we had issues before. It's getting like it's dangerous, toxic, dangerous. And look at, I mean, no wonder they cannot get a good cast for. They must have heard the craziness that happens because if you can't even get a good cast for season 3, look at the choices we have. We have so
Yeah.
many choices. What's the
Who
problem?
would be your dream cast for the Real Girls trip, and
It's
where would
what-
they go?
It would have to be an island. Please
Yeah.
send them to an island because they had the best time when they're on. Remember with all right, so it would be Luann.
Oh, but she's already been on, so you got to recast.
Oh God, I'd have to think about it. I never thought about it because I really didn't think it was a good idea to have get a spinoff. I just thought it was like, hey, we're going to send them to the island and misfit to we're just going to give them a show because they won't leave us alone. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then it's like, I'm kind of thinking, I don't even know what Andy's point is anymore. Because why would you send them to Dorinda's? What is the deal with that? But I would want like older, I would want maybe like some OC people, McGina.
Or what's her name? The real religious woman,
Mary Topping.
Alexa.
Oh,
But
yeah.
she got drunk really bad on one of the Below Deck episodes, and she was just climbing all over her boyfriend. And
Yeah, I saw that. And the fact that when we saw that, and I was like, wow, she's that, either that guy, that was a weird episode. I thought that was very strange. I didn't think he was very interested in her. So then it was like, she's really desperate for this engagement. And if they bring her back to OC, I was like, they're never going to bring her back to OC. And now what do we hear? She might be back, or she is back.
wow. Yeah, because they don't know what else. The thing is, there's a saying on TV. It's called jumping the shark. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Jumping the shark is a term used when a show is past its prime, and that came from a show called Happy Days, and the Fonz was the coolest guy ever. And then there was one episode where he's on holiday with the family, with the Cunninghams, and he's on a motorboat or whatever. He's water skiing, and he jumps the shark, and it was so corny, so contrived that from that point on, they said the show went south. So when a show jumps the shark, and I think this franchise has jumped the shark. Oh, is this Joe coming up?
I was just trying, yeah, I'm trying to hold on.
Oh no, it's you. There he is. Hey Joe.
Sorry. Hold on, put myself out again. Sorry. Okay, we good? We done?
Unmute yourself, Joe. You're muted.
Sorry, Joe, are you there? Oh, do I have him muted?
Wow.
No,
Yeah,
he was muted.
You there, Joe?
Hey. Yeah, I'm
What are your
here.
thoughts?
I want a different Ultimate Girl Strip cast. I've thought about it.
Yeah.
So I I don't mind having Candace on on UGT season 3. Although, as if she's okay with it, I would also want Monique Samuels.
I mean,
Although she's probably happy with um you know uh
she's on Marriage and Boot Camp, I think. Just
no,
recently.
she's in that DC Love and Marriage.
Love
DC.
it. Okay, yeah, it was one of them. I so yeah,
But
okay.
yeah,
Who else?
so I want them to get some resolution there.
Mhm.
From Atlanta, I wouldn't mind having Marlo on. I would also actually have Claudia Jordan. I know that's probably not popular, but I think she could spice things up in that trip. And then the main characters, I would have Mary Cosby and Jen Shaw before she goes to prison.
She can't.
Um,
She you don't have any time left.
or actually, can she travel outside the U.S.?
No.
I don't know. Well, as as
She's on
as as
pause. She's on
as,
pause
as
right now.
we say, guilty until proven innocent. Oh, I meant the other way around. Innocent
Right.
until proven guilty. But then I would also want, so Jen Shaw and Mary Cosby. I would also want Danielle Staub for more hair
Oh,
pulling.
my heart.
And then, well, and speaking of hair pulling, I wouldn't mind having what's her face, the one that shifted Sheree's wig,
Um.
Kim. Yep. And then I would also want Lisa Rinna and
Oh,
Chanel Ayan, so Chanel could just rip it
there
into.
you go.
Um, I think that's a
Yes.
better than the cast that they have now.
I mean, I
Where
don't even.
would you send them? Where would you send
Where
them
would they
to?
go?
No, I mean it's fine. They could all go to Phuket. Phuket is a nice place in Thailand.
Well, we already did Thailand. We have to. So there are.
I
This one's
know,
going
but
to go.
have they left for
Not
Thailand
yet.
yet?
We
Okay,
still have a couple days left.
so there's a couple of days, but
I mean,
if it can't happen, and let's say those boring people get to go to Thailand and film, I wouldn't mind sending them over to like somewhere exotic, like
visa.
like South Africa or Kenya, where Chanel is Chanel from Kenya? I
Uh,
can't.
I forget.
Or they could go to the Middle East, like Jerusalem. That could be fun.
I know, but I think we have like 4 days left for all that. So, I feel like this is going to ruin this side thing. That can't. I mean, hey, look. I thought this was going to be a crap show. I mean, it is, but I mean, we're talking about it. This cast that they have coming up for season.
Which show are we talking about? That's crap.
Well, I mean, I feel like the season 3 is going to be crap for this. I feel like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like that Bravo has given Dorinda the rope to hang herself with at this point. Because why else would you put this on TV? And same thing with Erica at this point. If you don't get rid of Erica and Rinna, Bravo, what are you doing? It's like almost toxic for us to watch anymore because I feel like I've been screaming at we can't get the 2 years of our life back that she's already taken, Erica. So do I really want to sit around and watch her going after 14-year-olds with her thing hanging out and Kyle assaulting Sutton? I mean, think about it. Sutton has been bullied. Her life's been threatened. Kyle's doubled down on that. And now she's like physically assaulting and manhandling her after she was threatening to get her head butted. Like, this is nuts when you say it all out loud like that.
I'm not sure if this, yeah, I'm not sure if this is being a devil's advocate or just like another independent observation, right? So,
What?
from a production or network standpoint, I think they're just confused. It's like, what do the people want, right? So,
Yeah.
like in various like franchises and episodes, there's always complaints in either, hey, the cast is boring, the storyline is boring, cancel the show or bring certain people back. But then you also have this other side of like, hey, all these people are just so toxic, they're so like they're so problematic, like cancel the show, remove people in the show. And then once you actually remove people in the show, it's like, okay, well, who are we going to bring back? Like it's like it's like the public being or asserting their production hat
Our
into
Bravo hats.
without necessarily having like some sort of accountability for it outside of just making the complaints and and impacting viewership. So it's like that line that production and the producers need to thread of like, how do we respond to the public outcry and figuring out which demand they should actually listen to more? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, and I love that you're saying that, Joe. I think therein lies the rub. There's the problem because you can't please everybody.
Yep.
But instead of sitting down trying to figure out how are we going to please everybody, why don't you sit down and try to figure out how can we bring quality, entertaining production to the masses? Like, for example, Top Chef for me, I never get tired of it, or Below Deck, because
No.
they have a formula, but they bring something fresh in all the time. So they'll go to this place or that place. How do you bring it with the Housewives? I don't know. I do believe that the franchise is on its way out. I think
Yeah.
people are getting tired, been there, done that, drinking, fighting. Okay, what's new? After the table, that was the big thing, the big table turn that Teresa did. That
Yeah.
put them on the map.
Yeah.
But and then last night, or in the Real Housewives girls trip, when they're sitting there squabbling over who had the better, more successful franchise,
Right.
that just goes to show how shallow their values are.
Yeah. In
You
season
know,
one, the first scene was them knowing who was the number one guy in the group. Like it was, who like in the very first season of our girls trip, they're arguing about who put the show on the map. And I was like, honestly, guys, who cares? It's 15 years later. And like you said, I don't
exactly.
know what the answer is either, because I would go back to when Gina threw the wine in Tamara's, or I'm sorry, when Tamara threw wine in Gina's face in Vicky's driveway. The old
Yeah,
Tamara and
yeah,
Gina. I mean, the
yeah.
old, you know what I mean? Like that was the crap that used to make you mad, but like we get over it and the next week everything is fine. This crap, it's like we have no resolve, Erica. At this point, we have to decide for ourselves whether we believe her and whether we want to keep watching. There's nothing else that we could find out, right?
But when
Well,
the
Hidden
premise
diaries.
of the franchise from a long time ago, though, it was a little bit, or maybe a lot of it was based on shallowness, like
oh,
the
absolutely.
But like
the life of the pretend rich and famous, right?
behind the Kodo
Well,
gates was like the worst you could really. I mean, the worst that happened was like with Simon and Tamara's divorce. I mean, I don't know.
it was a nod to the show Desperate Housewives, and they're
Mhm.
like, okay, well, let's show the real housewives,
Yeah.
not the desperate housewives. But I will say something. As you guys know, I vote on the Academy,
Yeah.
Television Academy, and so what we do is when we get the initial ballot, there's a whole list. You get like, I don't know, maybe per each category, you get like 30 different categories for best leading man in a comedy, blah, blah, blah. So I got the best unscripted reality shows, and only 2 housewife franchises were on there for me to vote on. You can vote as many categories, and then they pick out the top 5 that got the top 5 votes. And it was Real Housewives of Miami and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Those were the
Really?
only 2 that were on the list for nomination. And then there were other shows, but for the franchises, there was no Atlanta, there was no
Wow.
Potomac, there was nothing else, no New Jersey, no New York. It was just Beverly Hills and Miami. I did not nominate Beverly Hills. I did nominate Miami, though.
See, I think it's crazy. Like I feel
Well,
like reality TV
I
is
have a question, Mama. So,
Mhm.
like, when you vote for these things, like, what's the time period? Like, was this based on the recent
Yeah.
season, or is this like based off of like, oh, this is from like the past year, like right before you're voting for this? Like, what's
No,
the
it's for this year, whatever has aired. So, Miami aired this year. So it would be not the current one, but the one with Erica and her woes from, the last time it was on.
got it? Got it. Sorry, Krista.
Because they're
Like,
still in production, or they're still doing it right now. So that it doesn't count. That'll count for 2023.
got it.
She won't. Hopefully, she won't be there if it does. If it,
Well,
I just
she's on it now. She's on it now, so it'll be but like not even the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was on to my recollection. I think those were the only 2.
I mean, there isn't really any like awards for reality TV, is there? I mean, I always
Yeah,
feel like
that the
reality
Emmys, the
butterfly.
Emmy. Well, they do People's Choice Awards and they do that, but now, it's bled over into reality because, to be honest, when reality first started getting all of its stuff, actors were really upset because
Mm,
we worked very hard just to be on one episode of one show, or
right.
to produce one show is so expensive, and then they get these people for peanuts, and it's the production quality and value is so inferior, and that's fine, and that's why they kind of have free reign to do whatever they want, because they call that entertainment, and that's why it makes me laugh when I see Dorinda trying so hard to get her show back on the show, and she's blaming Jill for that. Well, Jill
I
was an
know.
Jill, leave Jill alone, whether you like her or you don't. She was one of the originators. You wouldn't be there, Dorinda, if it wasn't for Jill. So let's just
And
take a
I feel
seat.
bad.
But
Like
Brandy,
Jill
but
thinks that she's her friend. It's like Jill realized that Dorinda does not. I feel bad that Jill believed that Dorinda's her friend. Because
but
clearly,
Brandy was right though. Both Dorinda and Jill are
Yeah,
thirsty.
they are thirsty, and Jill can be. I don't have any problem with the
no.
thirstiness, but the thing is, there a lot of the women used, this platform to sell their wares, like what happened with Bethany Frankel. She made $160 million on skinny,
Holy.
and from her making money, what they did is they started making any housewife that had a profit or a business, that was due to the show that they were able to promote on the show, that
The
they had to.
Bethany rule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that
What
what it's
Bethany
called?
said.
Yeah.
10%, right? 10% they get or something, right?
So it's all these drinks and all this stuff and all that other, but everybody's promoting something because they need a side hustle, but that's the thing I
But
don't
that's
get
not
with
a real
Diane.
housewife. Like, think
If
about
you,
it. This is
but
supposed to be real housewives.
just a question I want to ask you guys. If you were very wealthy to the level that Diana claims to be, and that was so stupid when Lisa Rinna was telling her, yeah, they could travel on economy. Yeah, Lisa,
Yeah.
you can't get a plane, but Sutton
Commercial.
can.
They said commercial, and I love flying commercial, especially in first class. So
Mhm.
I don't know what they're
Yeah,
talking
there's
about.
nothing wrong with, but she wanted, but and Lisa's the last one who's going to be able to afford to charter a plane. Let's not get that
Right.
twisted. But if you were really that rich and you were really that busy with all kinds of, charities and stuff, would you be on that show? Would you be on a reality show to expose yourself?
If I was a criminal, if I say, if I was Bethany, I wouldn't go back to it. But now, like, if it got me to where, see, I probably would, but I wouldn't stay on it. I wouldn't stay on it to the point where it's almost like you were in the opposite, like when you have to die on that hill, like basically, it's like, I can't believe this is the hill some of these people want to die on. But like when it gets to that point, bail out gracefully. Like at least Bethany bailed out at the right time and she's still making her money. And I would take it and do exactly what she did, but I would not want to go. I wouldn't spend my life being so desperate to get back on it that I make myself look like a fool.
But see, Bethany started at a lower level. I mean, she was barely making ends meet when she started. And the nicest thing that she's done is that she has all these charities and she
Yeah,
helps so many people and she
yeah.
uses her platform for good. But I'm talking about somebody in the range of, well, even Sutton, Sutton or Diana. Why do they need to be if they're that rich? And
No.
why?
I mean, it's probably nice for a little bit, I guess, but like, to the point where it gets like, when somebody has to get therapy when they get fired from it. Dads, I don't know. I would
Fame.
do it, but I
I
just
think
wouldn't.
it's fame because even though you're filthy rich, fame isn't necessarily something that
Right.
is, that you could attribute from just being rich. Like
Yeah,
people
like you
still
don't
do
need to have
that.
food.
So I think the platform itself would allow you to do that. Now, whether or not they're smart enough to actually think that nothing's gonna like it, like all press is good press. Well, that's really on them. But I think because they already have all the money, they probably don't need the paycheck, but they probably want to be known.
They,
Um,
they
and
really
yeah,
confuse it.
they want that perceived fame because narcissists are like that.
It's like Lisa Rinna
That's true.
for 40 years is trying like is I guess fighting her way to the top, I guess. I don't know. At this point in her life, like you're confusing rich and like, both of them is rich and famous. Like you can be rich without fame, fame without being rich. But like, why does she have? It's beyond me why that you get to the point where you make a fool out of yourself and you make us all that mad, and you're just so obviously thirsty. Like, and you get to this point, you need to get. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, yeah, see, yeah, see. For me, I would have wanted Diana's wealth prior, and like I would be Diana before Housewives. Like I would just want to be really filthy rich. I would want to be married to that hot guy Asher, and then just live my own quiet life, banging.
I mean, yeah.
But like I don't need all of that freaking
Mhm.
like noise in the world of like throwing jabs at the Room 23 book and all of the problematic and dark comments. Like that's just
Especially with
that,
her
that's all
alleged
unfortunately is
past.
part of the territory. But Diana just wants that freaking perceived fame that
I
she
mean,
wants in her
like
life.
Norma, like, do people really know who she is in Hollywood? I mean, I didn't know who she was, but people know who
No,
she is.
I think people
but
in
I,
the Charlie circuit know her.
yeah, exactly. People who are in that kind of stratosphere of money know who she is.
Yeah,
But the truth is, I think maybe initially being on a show like that is a kick in the pants. It's fun. But
yeah,
when you start doing, this is the thing, when you invite toxicity and negativity,
yeah,
you invite it all the way. For example, like one thing I'll never talk trash about my kids to anybody. They may piss me off, but you're never going to hear me say that, because once you do that, then people feel entitled to respond and
yeah.
like and weigh in. It's none of their effing business. So same being done on the show. When they start treating each other like that, viewers go to Twitter, they go to social
Yes.
media, and I've seen some nasty things. Some guy wrote
Yeah.
recently, like, poor Lisa, people have said such horrible, horrible things. And no doubt, I do believe that they have. But she has opened that door and welcomed that in because of her behavior.
Yes. And it's like and the fact that, like, this is the sneaky part about them. This whole getting really drunk at night and going on these rants on social media, and the next day waking up and, oh, it's because of, like you said, using this excuse or that excuse. It's snake like behavior. You're a snake. That stuff to me is sneaking snake like, because you're
Yeah,
not going to come back and apologize. Like, you don't
and
go to court and say to the judge every time you do something, I was drunk, sorry, Your Honor. And that judge says, okay, you're excused. Like, no,
yeah,
you're not going to
and
use that excuse all
yeah,
this.
and I think what changed in the landscape then and now is the preponderance of social media, right? Because like before,
Hmm.
yeah, people know about the Real Housewives, but it wasn't as you know
And they
as
also
well
know what we
known
want
because
too, kind of.
yeah, because social media back then wasn't all that popular. Not that many people subscribed to it. Now, yes, you get more name recognition, but now you have a wider, audience that will just sit on their couches or on their seats and pretty
Computer.
much just pull out all of the hypocrisy that they see in every single cast on the show that they watch. So we're all
My head's
here to pull out on your
yeah.
bullshit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if you sign up for it, too bad.
That's my
Well,
thing. Is like, why do it if you're committing it, especially if you're committing a crime. If you're committing a crime, I still, it's in my head. I don't even think narcissism is an excuse to go on television. I don't understand that at all. It's like you're
Wait,
basically
are
raising
we?
a flag.
Wait, are we saying Diana committed the crime?
Allegedly, I know. I'm just saying there's ones that have
in
allegedly
general, she's
crime.
talking about in general. There's been a lot
Oh,
of, like, you
oh,
got Teresa went to jail.
Yeah,
That she's
like
just a general thing, not
it's
specifically
alleged. I'm
any
just
bad,
saying, if you're allegedly
alleged.
doing these nefarious things, why in the world are you jumping in front of a camera? I mean, I
Well,
you
understand
and
know,
guys.
every time I hear the word allegedly, I always go back to my favorite tweet from Zach Peters. It's like, "Oh, girl, you're not too important to be saying allegedly in your tweets."
oh my God, that's too funny. And that's the thing also, is that people engage, these people are engaging with the fans. and they're getting nasty on social media. It's becoming a back and forth. Look at what happened to Philly Diva. I think that is amazing how that blew up to a
I know.
national piece of
Right.
news.
I know.
Because
And it's like with Andy would he's such a dick. He just refuses to say people's names. So that's why I keep every time somebody says the black content creator, I'm like, her name's Kristen. She has a name, it's Philly Diva. Every time I hear somebody talk about it, like her name is Kristen. She has a name, people.
but on
Like,
other
you don't
platforms, they have said her name, and in the papers,
yeah,
they
and
have
it's good.
said her
It's
name.
amazing. But like you said, it kind of worked in their favor because you want to be an asshole. Okay, you can be an asshole, but we're going to call you out on it. And in the end, obviously we're not going to side with you, you ignorant. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
just
yeah. I may not have gotten the memo, but I think there was a time where Kristen didn't want her actual name online. That's why she preferred to be called Philiva. So like, is she now okay with just her name being
she
thrown
switched
out?
it. She switched it to Kristen, and she was back and forth.
Yeah, I've seen it both.
I think she was
And
tired of both at this point. But
Okay.
yeah,
but one person that popped in my head just now that was I'm thinking, who's a housewife who played the game but kept her side of the street clean? And for me, that would be Yolanda Hadid. And the way that Rena went for her and how she did for her, I kind of sort of blame Rena for the demise of Yolanda's marriage because Yolanda was sick with Lyme disease. I don't know if you guys remember her
I
beautiful house.
remember that.
Yeah.
She
Her
was getting all
house
that metal
overlooked
moves
yeah,
to
I mean,
figure out everything that was wrong.
and all that Lisa did was poke at it. Now, yet when her daughters wanted to model in New York, she asked Yolanda for help.
Right. She
And
basically modeled her life after Yolanda's daughter's lives, basically.
yeah, but look at who are the two, supermodels,
Exactly.
Bella and the other one,
Gigi.
Gigi. Thank you.
No, it's like I can't. There was a picture the other day of Amelia or not Amelia. It's like your eyebrows and your smile.
Noise.
Well,
There's two names. Amelia's the younger kid. Delilah is the older.
yeah, Delilah and non-Delilah. I say idea. They're beautiful girls, but like smile.
Okay.
I don't know. But
No, well. I don't know about that. I think David Foster. I mean, that guy is also old too. I don't think he expected to. Well, I guess nobody really expected for anybody to have Lyme disease, but I don't think he was expecting to like spend that much time and effort to take care of Yolanda. I think that in and of itself, in addition to all of Rena's shenanigans, kind of brought that.
I
Uh,
felt really, really. Yeah, it was really sad. I felt bad for her that season. Like you
yeah.
could see
So
the
yeah. So yeah.
heartbreak.
So now David Foster opted for a much younger Catherine McPhee, who I actually loved on American Idol. Like
Yeah,
she was great.
But
she
he's
was on
like,
a TV show too, where she played a
Yeah.
Broadway actress. She was
Was
still
it?
got
Was
her.
it? Yeah, on CW, right? It was like the TV show of like a Broadway um
Yeah,
yeah.
for like
I
Marilyn
didn't
Monroe.
realize how famous he kind of was. I didn't realize that, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like that probably was the catalyst. A lot of it, but he probably it seemed like maybe he wanted out to begin with. But I think like that was a lot of. Now he's on. All of a sudden he's on TV. There's a lot of drama. You're right. She was really really sick. Really sick. She was getting
and
all
that's
this.
not, for better, for worse, and
Right.
sickness and health. I mean, he bailed on her, and he got with McPhee pretty quickly. And even after she did that beautiful book for him, where she's modeling and she's quasi, seductive. She's very seductive in it. Did you guys? Do you remember
Yeah.
that for his
Yeah.
birthday or something or anniversary?
Yeah.
And she did for him. You could see that she doted on him.
Yeah.
But I think he's another narcissist, and he just like he's
Another
been married a
Kelsey.
million.
Like Kelsey Grammer.
Oh,
And if you think about it, Yolanda actually is one of those housewives that I wouldn't mind
Right.
coming back to the show because like like her, I think all of her kids are adults now. And I think even the younger kid Anwar, like has a, like I think just recently got through a breakup with another like famous singer. I can't
Yeah, he
remember.
was with a famous, yeah, he was with a
Dua
model too.
Lipa, I think.
Yeah.
Dua Lipa. And like Bella and Chi lead very interesting lives too, and I'm sure, and I'm actually legit curious what Yolanda's doing now. Hopefully, she's doing a lot better.
I would
But
take LVP back if she. I would take LVP back too.
who?
I mean, I would take LVP back with Yolanda.
Oh yeah, we know LVP's not coming back.
I know, wishful thinking, but that's the season I kind of when we were. Not that I want Erica on, but
You know who I would bring back next season just to piss Kyle off if she comes
Kyle
back?
better not be there. But go ahead.
I'd bring Carlton.
I forget who that is. I say I forget who.
I love Carlton, and I love Joyce too, with her husband talking about her husband's pee-pee.
I
Oh
might
my
have to look
God.
back the seasons.
Carlton was the witch.
Yeah,
She had a medieval house.
Oh, dark hair. She had a
Yeah,
younger boyfriend, Paul, or something, or was that somebody else?
yeah, and even Andy, when LVP interviewed Andy on like who Andy thought could have, like, what was not necessarily presented as like a balanced like person on the show, like he actually mentioned Carlton, because they mostly showed her Wiccan like
Yeah.
side and not necessarily like as a mother, like all of that stuff. So I actually just for kicks of like getting Kyle just really pissed and like getting on her skin, like I wouldn't mind having Carlton back.
didn't
Even
didn't
like
they
as a
didn't
friend
they go
of,
back to the house? Didn't they
huh?
go back to that house? Didn't they sell the big castle house? And they showed it on one of the episodes
I remember
recently.
that. I think they moved, but they sold it. But that, I mean, I see, I forgot about her. I feel like we have come so far, not far, but like, look at the difference and just the energy when you think about those seasons to like now. And the fact that they want to bring Jesus jokes back. Not that I have anything against Alexis, but what are we doing? I mean, there's got to be more out there.
I have
Wait,
a
Jesus
question.
Jokes was OC, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I always get, I kind of mix, I group them together. I see them.
Real Housewives of the West Coast.
I
Well,
mean,
no,
I just group them together.
I'll tell you, the OC is predominantly very conservative. So you're going to have, like
Yeah.
Tamra Judge is very, Christian, and they're very conservative. I have a question for you guys. Can you hear
Mhm.
me?
Yeah.
My
Yes.
my AirPods are dying. So, what's his name? Ryan Lee.
Yeah.
So bad it's so good, or so good it's so
So
bad,
bad
or
it's
something
so
like
bad
that.
it's good.
He
Yeah.
posted an interesting thing because right now the NBA, they are doing trades. So they're trading their, which big player for that big player. If you were to do that with the Housewives, who would you like to see from past and current in different cities? But you can't bring in new people. You can't say, okay, I would like to bring, whomever. But you have to have past and current Housewives. Who would you bring in? Ooh, Kelly Ben Simone would be good on one of those real girls trips because she's crazy. Who would you bring?
I bring I bring Megan King back to the OC.
Really?
Okay, but now no, but not to those. So, for example, I'll give you Bethany comes to L.A. to Beverly Hills, or
I would say
Oh,
mix Jersey. Mix
Nene
Jersey
to New
out.
York, or some shit like that.
You need to mix OC and Jersey. Like I think you need
you
my
know,
Jersey cast and OC because we're so different, but we're very laid back too. We're very beachy, but like it would be. I think that. Oh my God, could you imagine them mixing that
I
cast?
would I would. Oh wait, but we can't do existing cast, like just like.
No, you can't. No, it's a trade. It's a trade like they do in
I
the
only
I
NBA.
would I would actually trade Erica to go to Atlanta.
Me
with
too.
who? With who?
Yes, because Kenya can
Oh
wait
yeah,
now to
yeah.
chill. If Erica starts blurting out like, "Hey, we in the South, we farm, girl," I'm like, "Bitch, what the hell you saying?" Oh yeah,
Yeah,
You just
because that way to mix it up to make it a more interesting franchise, who would
Mhm.
you pull from where and put them where?
I feel like I love Meredith I love Meredith Marks. I keep going back to Jersey because I know that we already had Jersey on the first season, but I want Dolores to go somewhere outside of
No,
Jersey.
no, no. This is not to do a girls' trip. This is
Oh,
to
just the
actually
season.
move
I
them.
would, yeah,
It's
I
like
would
they
It's a
move
hard
also,
one.
basketball.
yeah, I would
It is a
also
hard
trade,
one.
yeah, I would also trade Lisa Barlow to go to New York because I think Lisa Barlow is really a New Yorker at heart.
Oh yeah,
That's a good idea.
she would be good in New York.
I
Yeah,
should just do all the freaking casting decisions for both
Well,
of
I
them.
think that we need to get a Real Housewives of Phoenix, Sedona, Cape Cod. I think that we need new cities.
I think
Like,
Rena needs. I mean, Rena needs to go to Dubai.
yes. Oh, like I
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
wanting to
Oh god.
Dubai, but now I will because they gave me life this week.
Yeah, she could just do like a Phaedra, flyby.
But
You know,
like you know what she meant to
just
say though.
just stay there for two episodes and just get ripped on.
Yeah, I mean that's how they do in the NBA. You could be the biggest star on the team, but if there's a trade and they want more money or less money, so you could send, like I would send Vicky to Jersey and
I
watch
mean,
her
honestly,
explode.
send Vicky. And you can send Jen Shaw over here, and you can send Erica here too, and Rena. Send them all here. Actually, send them all to Jersey. But
Erica needs to go to Atlanta. They need to chop her up.
yeah,
And,
we'll see
she
how much.
wants. Well, she's originally from Atlanta,
I
so
think yeah, I was gonna say
she would have been great, and she could, talk like she thinks that she's black. Let's see how long that lasts.
oh god, she was.
Really?
I would bring Margaret Josephs to Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
Oh
she'd fit.
yeah.
She'd fit in. She'd fit in though. I think.
Well, that you wanted to. It would make an interesting dynamic,
Yeah.
wherever you play them.
See, I say we have all these choices, but when you say that, I'm like, I can't even. I can't even like in my head. I know we have all these cities, but like I'm not even coming up with nothing.
Well, because the thing is, why the show has worked for a long time is because there is conflict, and sometimes we see quick resolution, sometimes we don't. I think what's really dragged the Real Housewives franchises so far is either the conflicts are just based on bullshit, the conflicts are really dark and problematic that we don't actually want them on the shows,
Or
and I
we don't want the.
and yeah, and sometimes the conflicts are just petty AF that we don't care about them either. Like we actually want some legit conflicts from dynamic relationships.
Mm.
I think that's what's been missing these past few years.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. It's like
A
what.
lot of them are just very produced.
Yeah, like what Eva was saying on the Ultimate Girls Trip today. She said, it started from an innocent question, can I sit in on your radio show?
yeah.
And it became this thing that it didn't need to be. And that's because of your friend, Krista,
Hmm.
Drunkinda. I
Drunkinda.
call her Borinda, but
Not anymore. Now she's Drunkinda or Pillinda or overserved. I don't know what she is, but she's.
Lyinda, she says she never naps. Oh, that really set me off. She goes, I lay down to recharge my battery. She
Yeah.
does it because she's, how
She
dare
did
you?
that.
How dare you?
I know.
Oh,
How is Dorinda doing? Not well, bitch. Not well.
Not,
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
not well. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Yeah,
up. Hi,
appreciate it.
Joe. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
to
love
the chat.
I love coming, and I also love.
I know. No, I knew you were going to do that to me. Listen, hopefully you'll be coming tomorrow at 11:15 so we can talk about. I didn't check. Hi, Large. I didn't check to see what time Adam is doing messy hot topics. I'll change mine if I have to, but we definitely got to finish this conversation about if you can tomorrow about Beverly Hills because that's tomorrow.
We're not done with our Beverly Hills conversation. I thought we were.
Yeah, we're done now because it's been an hour and a half, Joe, and YouTube will not recommend me if I do much longer.
Got it.
But
Well,
we can.
thanks a lot. What we should do is, I don't know how many people you can have in a room, but one night we should just have like a little jam and just bring in several people all at once, and then we take
Like
our
our old
time.
messy boots chats that we used to do. We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we could.
Let's have a hot orgy of ideas going.
Oh my God.
Oh, Joe, I thought I was disappointed in you yesterday when I sent that picture of Nadal bending over and the ball boy behind him. I thought you would jump on that.
In
But
case
you
you guys,
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot
I
pole.
need to
Like,
explain my
anything
friends real
simple
quick,
is
guys. In
acceptable.
case you
Yeah,
guys are
just like
listening to my friends here, they have a
What?
very X-rated mind when it comes to like later lives. So don't mind them.
It was an innocent thing because it was all about tennis, and I know that Joe loves tennis. We love tennis here, and I just didn't understand why the bad boy had to come up from behind him and stand there. I didn't. Was he protecting him? I don't know.
I
I
mean,
had to take a screenshot. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "This is for Joe. Don't worry about it."
I'm like these. I'm like, all right. I'm gonna check in and see what they're talking about. Okay, I guess. These
Oh, that was
guys.
yesterday's news. We're on to
I know.
Drunkinda today.
Drunkinda.
Oh, Larcha does say she has a naughty mouth. You still
Oh, yeah.
have,
Larger than
we have yet
naughty
to
naughty.
Larcha.
I'll like 11 o'clock at night. They have a naughty naughties anchor watch. I'll get up to go to the bathroom. I'm like, let me check and see what they're doing. I'll quietly sneak in. I'm like, I hear big tip. Oh, Joe's big tip, Norma. And then it freaks me out when Norma is like talks about stuff like that. I'm like, Norma. I'm like, oh my God. The first time I heard, I'm like, Norma.
Well, I never re-listen to anything I say once it's out there. I do wake up in the middle of the night going, I said that on a live chat.
Yeah.
And then
I
it
was like,
takes me 2 hours to go back to sleep. Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I know I'm used to it, but I love you guys. I love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you. Bye,
welcome.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Have a great
Bye.
Thursday. Bye.
Bye. And everybody that I see everybody watching, thank you guys. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Twitter. I said I was going to go on TikTok and Reddit now. My suggestions, because I have to. Yeah, hugs to everybody. I love you guys. I do miss our naughty. Listen to me, naughty night. Our messy divas chat, which is basically our Adam family chat. So we got to start doing that again. So thanks for coming, guys. It's been an hour and a half, and this was Who Started You On, and we're not on Drunkinda side, and we need Bravo to do something about this mess because it's like leaking out. Like Erica, it was one thing when she was on our television for 2 years, taking our lives for 2 years. Now she's like screaming at 14-year-olds and hitting on Garcelle's son, which, hey, I would too. But like, you're an old lady, and he's probably like, look at this like crazy lady, right? One's yelling at my brother, the other crazy drunk lady. They send a bunch of people to her house. Like, I'd be mad too. But anyway, guys, I'm rambling because it's crazy. I'll see you tomorrow, 11:15 for do something exactly large. It's insane. I basically couldn't wait till tomorrow to do Ultimate Girls Trip. I can wait till Beverly Hills, but like I was going nuts watching Dorinda, and then watching. I'm laughing. It's not even funny. Kyle manhandle Sutton. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, do something. But I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.